So that's us recording, and that's the game starting. What a crappy intro. Right, so we're not going to start you off at the take because Merton doesn't really know much about the actual information. This isn't a traditional contract. It's not hunt down and kill this monster. It's maybe a little bit more what you'd consider normal adventuring work. It's in this case dealing with a cult that is apparently up to no good, you've been told. So Merton has sent you to Halman von Eldridge, a repeated client of the take, a wealthy. You're not sure what his actual job is, if he comes from money or not, but he is a sort of self-styled monster hunter of types. He tends to use his influence to counteract evil forces in the world, and has used the take several times for this. I think Rothbert and Nathaniel have worked for him before. So has John, actually.
Was he the one for the
hand?
Yeah. He was the one for the hand contract for John and Rothbert and Nathaniel.
And the demon one.
Yes, He was with the demon. Was that the Hag's Heart one, or was that a different one?
I didn't do that.
Which was the demon one? What did you kill that day?
You
literally went
kill
to
a
hell
demon
for this guy. You went to Gehenna.
We did.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of my favorite sessions.
I like that one.
So yeah, you've worked for him, and you helped him acquire a book of arcane lore that he used to track down the Hand's whereabouts, which he said Rothbert and John and a few others to have a relatively easy encounter against the Hand and take him out without much difficulty, I think.
So, Matt, can I check, are you wearing headphones? It sounds really echoey from your audio.
Oh, I know why that is. Guess what? That's because my microphone is underneath my desk. Yep. I had my microphone under my desk.
That normally sounds really clear, but for some reason...
Is that better, guys?
It's the silky smooth tones, yes.
Silky smooth. Into my Blue Yeti headphone. Or Snowball Ice. Sounds like something you'd order at a cafe. Right, so yeah, you guys head there. Merton sent you out with 2 healing pies today. Just 2 regular healing pies. Apparently, there was some sort of industrial accident and a bunch of children were injured. So the healing pies are going to them instead. You can argue against this if you want. No? Okay, probably for the best.
No, I mean, I reckon I could take a small injured child, but yeah, sure.
I think you probably could, considering...
They could beat me up.
Yeah, probably could take Nathaniel. Cool. So yeah, you guys head to the Von Eldridge estate, this large manor house in one of the older, richer parts of town. Does anyone want to do anything before they go, or have any questions?
Yeah, I do have one thing, but that's going to be a bit later.
Okay, what do you think now?
I'll cast Good Berry and get everybody a Good Berry. So it's I know it's not really good now at this level, but
it's still good to get someone up if John's busy.
Yeah,
it's an insta get up. It's actually very useful.
So how many? We got 5 guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Burgers and fries.
Yep, 5 guys.
2.
2 good berries.
Oh wow, 2 good berries.
Yep. So good.
Cool. So a bit of insurance for everybody. Nathaniel, do you have any questions about the person you're currently keeping in your basement, or is that for later?
I have lots of questions for the person that I'm keeping in my basement.
Because they've been there for a few weeks now.
Him. Yeah, no, I meant to send you something. I've been...
No, it's fine. I want to do it conversationally anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little flashback if you want.
We'll make it quick for everybody else.
Yeah, we'll make it quick. So for anyone who doesn't know, in a previous contract, during the spell scroll theft, which actually I put up today on my YouTube, so if you ever want to have a look back at it, it's on there.
You want to watch Nate go nuts.
Yeah. Nathaniel came across the exact same group of adventurers who wronged him in his past, killing most of them except for the archer, who Rothbert managed to capture.
Yeah.
They were an odd lot, talking about needing to gain as much experience as possible and wanting loot. And the paladin wanting to be an oathbreaker, but apparently that wasn't like an official thing he could do. Yeah, so you got this archer and you've taken her, and yeah, like, just we'll tell you anything you want to know. Like, they're showing zero attempt at restraint here, for they have nothing to gain from it. So, yeah, what questions would you have for them?
Who hired them?
Right. So you tell them, like, you ask about this particular like job, like from
I'll be
many
telling
years
them who
back.
I am.
Yeah. So
I'm the kid that they failed to kill.
Yeah. All right. Well, they tell you they were hired by an old half orc who hired them, saying that he had been assaulted by your group and had escaped with his life after being badly injured, and was hiring the adventurers to go and deal with them and try and save his wife, who was possibly going to be sacrificed.
Eh? Okay. So they were lied to heavily. All right. Fairly sure we weren't sacrificing anyone.
I mean, you were a kid though as well, so like you weren't entirely privy to the deep workings of your cult. Your cult.
Yeah, I killed. True, but there's nothing to gain from sacrifices to Bartholomew. He doesn't give a shit. Okay, right. So yeah, I want to know who paid him.
They finished
Where
the
did
job.
they meet?
They finished the job. They went to see this old half orc called Kirk. Kirk. They met him in like the same bar. They obviously they'd gotten the job in a tavern. They went back to this tavern, paid them in gold, and they never saw him again. Like he thanked them for their help and said he'd go off and try and find out what happened to his wife and hobbled away.
Okay. Damn it, that's all the information I can really get out of this idiot. They weren't very bright.
No, and he does mention like it was a weird job. Like they kind of just expected to be killing evil cultists, and then it didn't really go that way. And they felt bad for a little while, but then they just got on with their job of like being murder hobos,
murderous bastards. Yeah, I was going to say, did they never look into it because it was blatantly not what they were told?
No.
But I'm guessing the answer to that is no.
No, they never looked into it. They after that apparently went on to like raid some underground dungeon for a while. It was strange. There was like a microwave hallway and like super tetanus and an inverted ziggurat. It was a weird time for them, but they got some cool magic items, which they eventually sold.
And where did they hide all their money?
They had it on them because as adventurers they constantly carry all their money and wealth on them at all times. Even though they all were carrying about 200 gold when you found them. Yeah,
they kind of failed on that. Cool. Is there anything else that he can tell me that might be worth his life?
He's really trying, you know. He tells you...
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Actually, at some point during this, Rothbard probably sticks his head around the door. Like, "You all right in here?"
You don't want to be in here.
Okay. The thing is, I don't know if I was helping or not.
You wouldn't have been there for this. That you weren't on that contract. Were you on that contract, John?
I was on the contract, and I did say I was gonna help with torture, and people got really messed up because I said I was gonna do that as a life cleric.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, it depends how much of like a communal thing Nate made this, or if this was just him in a back room.
He would have just taken them away.
Yeah. I don't know if you include your friends in torture, you know.
No,
especially since the take quite heavily frowns on it.
Yeah.
Just does it in the basement of his business.
I have to admit, I'm kind of dropping the good from my neutral good because he's not making it out of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, something you do. This guy, he's just a merc, just like someone who got paid money to do a job and did it, maybe he didn't look hard enough into what he was doing. Like, as near as you can see, the guy isn't evil. He's just kind of shallow.
I get that. I do get that. Nate doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I thought so. That's completely legit.
Killed his entire family.
Oh yeah, completely legit. All right, so
the irony in my current job is entirely lost on him.
Yeah. So the question becomes then: does Nate kill him, or is he still in the basement?
He can still be in the basement for the moment. I don't. He might well not survive, depending on what happens at the end of this.
Okay.
He's still down there for the moment.
Yeah, in case you can think of anything else that he might be able to help you.
His legs may well be broken.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like we don't really see it on screen. We see Nathaniel coming out of a back room and wiping his hands, sort of thing.
Yeah. Ditching the apron.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
leave a mess downstairs.
You guys, that's sort of what you've discovered from him.
Cool.
His name is Artemis, because he's an archer and not very creative. And yeah, you guys enter the Halman von Eldridge estate, this lovely, sort of well-maintained estate, and make your way inside. And you can see Sinfar is waiting for you. Sinfar is a pale, actually albino elf, wearing sort of servant's fine livery, sort of what you'd expect to see the maitre domo of a house to wear. And he's standing sort of waiting for you.
Wander up.
Oh, it's this guy again.
Yeah. He bows to everyone as they approach.
That picture really looks like the guy out of Hellboy.
It is the guy out of Hellboy.
Oh, it is it? Oh, I watched that recently. That's why it's in the front of my mind.
he nods and goes, "The master will receive you in the study," and takes a few steps back and indicates the room you've met Halman in before, which is down to the south. Excellent. So you head down south. You enter this sort of nice study. There's a fire burning in the hearth. He's got food and wine out if anyone wants it. There's a kind of nice atmosphere. He's got an unseen servant wandering around offering people drinks. And yeah, Halman's sitting there. He's a older half-elf man. By human standards, he looked to be in his maybe 60s. Sort of greying hair, still quite fit looking and handsome, except for he has a cane at his side. And yeah, he smiles at everyone as they come in and stands up and greets everyone warmly. Greets in particular Nathaniel, Rothbert, and John, who he remembers all of them. John, your horse is not allowed to come into the house because it's a horse. There we go. The owl's fine though.
Bat.
That's for John. John has an owl, you have a bat. Mr. Flappy's fine too. Mr. Flappy suits the generally quite gothic decor. It's good to see you all. Yes. Thank you for making it so quickly. I have some work for you, not the normal Slayer's Take fare, but it will pay well, and it is good work. Something that needs to be done.
What do you say?
I have become aware that the leader of a cult is going to be in a meeting. It's rare that this particular individual, Deacon Smythe, is reachable. He's normally hidden away amongst the many cells of his group. His group is simply known as the Church of the Deep. They operate in many places around the continent, including inside Vasselheim itself, and he is its leader. He is engaging in some form of meeting at an old abandoned lighthouse on an island in the middle of a large inland lake, almost an inland sea. I have procured transport for you to reach this island. Once there, I'll need you to head there, wait until the time of the meeting, as if you strike too early, he will not show up, and then attack and kill him. Now, it is important to note that this particular gentleman, Smythe, is quite powerful and flighty. He has survived this long not by standing and fighting, but by, well, teleporting away as soon as things get hairy. As such, I have procured, and he pulls out 2 scrolls, puts them down. These scrolls will prevent him from being able to teleport for a time. But in order to use them, someone will need to get close enough to touch him, which will cause it to cast upon him, and it will then give you a brief window of opportunity before he can teleport.
Okay.
Now,
do you have a description of this man?
No, I do not. Like I said, he is somewhat of a stealthy individual. Actually, let me roll a... Yeah, I'll give you this. Yeah, I do have one of the man. He has dark brown hair. Generally keeps a small beard trimmed on his face. High cheekbones. Human. And I believe tends to dress in quite nice robes. In fact, I have a picture for you. Show to everyone.
Yeah, he looks very cult-like.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I never know if doing this also shows you, lets you see the character sheet, or if it just lets you
That
see.
one isn't. No.
Yeah, good. So yeah, he kind of describes this sort of man here, and sort of says, it is important that somebody somehow manages to press this spell street against him, and doing so will buy you a few seconds in which to attack where you won't be able to teleport away. Maybe as much as a minute.
Okay. Cool.
Do we need to have casting ability to be able to do that, or can we just rub the paper against it?
No. It's the magic is in the item itself. If you have it in your hand and simply touch him with a part of your body, your other hand, for instance, that will be enough. It will transfer to him. The spell has been designed to affect him.
Okay. Excellent. That's fine.
Do we know who he's meeting?
As I do not know. But it must be someone important for him to travel into the sticks as such and take such precautions to go effectively into the middle of nowhere on an island, into an old abandoned and ruined, as I understand it, lighthouse. It is quite the clandestine meeting.
Okay, and you've said this with the worshippers of the deep, or
the Church of the Deep, yes.
Church of the Deep. What do they worship? What's that thing?
As I understand it, they worship something known as Dagon, a ancient figure of many cults in all across the world. A sort of ancient sea god.
Okay. All right.
Now, for reward, I have 250 gold per person taking part in the take, and if you, I need this to be done completely. Removal of the entire cult will ensure confusion amongst his followers if they don't know what happened. So, if you're able to defeat and kill every member of the cult, I will be able to give you all a greater healing potion as well as reward.
Oh, damn. It's like doubling the value of the contract straight away. Sweet.
Okay. So,
I mean, are these just generally unpleasant cult members? I mean, I feel a bit bad. Just some of the local farmers.
The cult itself has been responsible for many abductions, I believe, from my research, as well as some murders. They tend to work. They're not the most aggressively dangerous cult. They're not similar to the cult of the dragon, who are trying to accumulate of wealth, or even the cult of the crawling doom. but they are an insidious lot. They work more slowly, corrupting communities over time.
What is your interest in if you don't mind me asking, in removing this group? It seems if they're not one of the big ones, then
It is important to remove threats before they have a chance to fester too much. In general, I work against many cults and active groups in the area, including necromancers, demon worshippers, several particularly aggressive tribes of evil humanoids. I won't lie, it's a bit of a confusing mess. If you ever saw my study, there's a lot of maps and a lot of scrolls and a lot of mild panic. There's more going on in the area than you'd ever imagine.
That's, sounds terrifying.
Yes, pretty so.
Well, luckily I now have useful men to help me deal with these things. Your work in stopping the hand, and he kind of smiles and nods. It's like, if he'd managed to summon what he'd been planning, I suspect the woods around Vasselheim would have undead to add to their number of threats.
Oh, he still summoned something pretty nasty. It hurt a lot. But
Yes, and Alun, I understand. I don't know if that's what he intended to summon, but it was definitely very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Good face.
He looks at your offer and it's like, you did really well. I'm super proud of you. I hope you like the 1,000 gold you made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was paid well for it, but oh god. That's the closest I come to dying. Being a 1 hit point.
I think 1 hit point multiple times.
Yeah, well, yeah. Lucian running around. You get 1 hit point. You get 1 hit point. Now stand up.
Is there any more questions?
Not for the moment, for me anyway.
He looks
How much will it
pointedly
take
at Nathaniel.
It looks pointedly at me.
Yeah. Just sort of, when he says,
really?
is there any more questions, he gives you a look like he can sort of tell you're the one mostly curious.
I am. No, I just like to know who I'm working for.
Nate is the resident cult expert.
John Rook, you were saying something?
He still looks like he's in a cult.
I was asking how long would it take for us to get, I assume, with the ship to there?
Actually, it is going to be by wagon. It's a large inland sea, so we have to get you to the sea first. It's about a day's travel there. A day and a night, actually. And then we'll drop you off. You'll go to the island, do what you need to go, and come back. And a day and a night back. Luckily, the wagon driver can drive you.
You said we had to wait there, didn't you? So how long would we have to wait while there?
It depends on when you arrive. They are supposed to be meeting around about noon, I believe. So it depends what time you get there.
No.
Okay. Sounds fun.
All right. Well, don't let me keep you if you're ready to get underway. Please take some more scones if you're hungry.
Thank you.
Cool.
Blueberry or are they poison berry?
They're raspberry.
Ooh, fancy.
Can't eat those.
Yeah. So with that, like Sinfar moves to sort of indicate, you guys can go now.
Right.
Cool. Nate, can I get a wisdom saving throw from you, please?
Oh, of all the things.
You might do well.
Yeah.
What were your surface thoughts for that entire conversation?
Can I just check to see whether I have a particular ability first? Because there's a chance that he can't do what he's trying to do.
Oh.
And I can't remember what level it triggers at.
I think
Sneaky
it's 6 if it's the one you're thinking of. Let me have a look.
What, the great old one, you can't read my brain?
Yeah.
Then you get shit.
I mean, I don't know. Which did you get something at 6 that isn't that?
I'm trying to find it out. It's a pain in the neck because it's the one that isn't on.
Yeah, I was just like putting it in the compendium there, even as I went. I mean, I know that's not in the
Hang
compendium.
on, I've got the handbook here.
Why is it not in compendium?
Warlock. What am I looking for?
Great Old One Patron level 6 feature.
Okay. Otherworldly patrons. Great old one. Here we go. Entropic Ward.
Oh no, it's not. It's Entropic Ward. When do I get? I can't be fucking mind read.
10th.
Pen balls.
10th is Thought Shield.
What does Entropic Ward do?
I force disadvantage on an attack against me, and if they miss, I get advantage on them next time.
Yeah. Uses your reaction to do so.
You
You need it once per short or long rest.
If you want my actual surface thoughts while he was saying that, is I need to talk to one of these cultists. This isn't right. Something is going wrong, and he will get. I think this guy is responsible.
Cool.
And what delicious scones.
Yeah, hasn't touched the scone.
Okay. That's what he got from everyone else.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So you guys head off.
Balls.
So close.
I mean, I could put a suggestion in there too, but I don't think he's got anything to suggest to you. Go do your
I would like some 10 minutes, guys. If you can wait and stop for a moment, I think I need to commune with my deity.
Can you do that in the wagon?
Yeah.
Can I do that in the wagon?
Yeah, you can do anything in a wagon that you do with this, I suppose. Alright, so you guys head out, and yeah, there's some wagons prepared for you. And yeah, the wagon drivers are familiar, at least to Rothbert, I think. You recognize it as oh god, William and I'm trying to remember which ones didn't get kidnapped. You recognize William and his brothers, or well, the remaining brother.
Oh, the dwarf wagon train. Awesome.
Yeah, it's them again, and they see you coming, and well, they give Rothbert a particular nod, sort of recognition, like, you were one of the ones who helped defend the wagon train against that fucking clusterfuck.
Fucking flying sharks.
Yeah, fucking flying sharks. Get on, and yeah, William sort of nods to you, Rothbert, and goes, "Good to see you again, Rothbert."
Hey, and you too.
Good. Off out into the wilds, searching danger again, then.
Apparently so.
I hope it goes better for you than last time. He sort of says, kind of grimly.
You and me both.
Yeah, and you remember, his brother and friend are still missing, captured by this large group of marauders.
Yeah, which one? Oh, it wasn't the one. Was it the one that got harassed by Joe and that got?
Yes, that was like an employee. That was just that wasn't
okay.
his. That was
one of the brothers.
But that was his friend. That was
okay.
Bog, I think was his name. Bok. And yes, I think one of his brothers also got kidnapped away.
Ugh. Nasty business.
We're looking for them. We'll find them soon, and I think when we do, we're going to be sending you lot in to try and get them out. Seems to be the plan.
Oh, just give me a call. I'll come just for fun.
Well, fun and hopefully saving my brother's life would be nice.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to charge you for it.
Chuckles and lets you all into the wagons, and you all take off. Again, these are very very fast horses. Wagon travel between places in the Vasselheim continent is dangerous because there's so many monsters that live in the wild. As such, the wagons that do travel have their horses enchanted. It's very expensive and actually probably not very good for the horses, but it allows them to basically run for hours and hours on end, making it harder for monsters to swoop in and cause them trouble. So they just take off running through the wild hinterlands around Vasselheim. And sorry, what were you saying there?
I was going to say, are these the enclosed wagons or the open top ones from last time?
They're
the enclosed ones. I'm going to.
They're enclosed ones.
Okay, I'm going to sit on the roof just paranoid after last time.
Yeah.
That's right, that was it.
Yeah, John stubbed a very interesting question.
So if you ever put something in chat, I will not get around to reading it because I'm too busy focusing on other things. So what was the question?
I wrote it out, but it's when we're going to be going after the cultists we went Sev to go after, what should we be aware of or which we are not already?
Oh, and this is your question of from divination?
Yes.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay. What should you be aware of that you are not already aware of? The things they are meeting are inhuman creatures of the deep.
Getting some definite Lovecraftian vibes here.
If I was a deep one.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, so you get a pretty good answer from that. Yeah, you guys take off. The horses ride throughout the rest of the day. It was quite early, and then when night falls, they just keep going. Like the guys change over shifts. They give the horses a couple of like quick breaks, and you can see they've actually brought a sort of he's another dwarf, but he has like body like tattoos with like swirling sort of look to them. Who is casting sort of spells on them to like reinvigorate the horses and get them ready to go charging off once again. And after a brief while, they take off again, running through the trees as fast as they can. And as the sun rises the next morning, the wagons come to a stop, and you see. Firstly, you notice the weather's taken somewhat of a turn for the worse. It's raining. But you're not really surprised it's raining as you find yourself next to a massive, cold inland loch, but it's almost like an inland sea. Like, you can barely make out the other shore from where you're standing. And you can see there are several like islands dotted around in this lake, most of them obscured somewhat by the sort of misty rain that's filling the air, drizzling down, soaking everything. And yeah, the wagon comes to a stop, and William, the head wagon driver, points at a little shack nearby. And next to the shack, you can see there's a sort of flat-bottomed boat with a rope, and then there's a rope going across to a nearby island. And he's like, "There's the ferry. Goes across. Too big. The wagon's too big for the week. Come this way dropping off supplies sometimes. Not very often, though. When we do, we hand it to the ferryman and he takes it across. So he should be able to take you across." Sorry?
Supplies for who?
Oh, there's some villages that are on the island. Fishing villages.
Okay.
Insight check?
Yeah, sure. You can insight check the completely friendly dwarf guy.
Hey, he's alright.
No.
He is full of shit, alright? There ain't no villages cross there. He's probably a dragon. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so he just he's like, "I'll wait here for you. We'll expect you back a few hours from now. We won't be taking off until tomorrow morning. So whenever you can get back here, you can camp with us."
Right. Good to know.
Okay.
After you, Nate.
I'll get in the boat.
Alright, you wander over to the ferry and you get in the boat.
Do we need pass without a trace?
I mean, first of all, you get in the boat, and the man who owns the boat comes out of his shack and looks at you, confused.
Ah, apologies.
It's like, "Yeah,
Good,
in my
good
boat
sir.
there, lads."
Apologies, sir. A minor misunderstanding. How much to borrow your boat for a moment?
Thought, what's his face had chartered one for us.
Don't
Yeah.
borrow a boat. I take you
We were
across
supposed to be
it
using the
ferry.
boat to cross the town. The
Aye, I take you across in me ferry.
yeah. Can we do that?
Aye,
Awesome.
after breakfast for 1 gold each.
What, breakfast is a gold each, or?
No, I have
Sorry,
breakfast. Then I take you all across for 1 gold each.
Hey,
How about
fine.
if we go now and give you 2 gold each?
No, got to have the breakfast. He
You
sidles
have the
back.
breakfast in the ferry.
You see, he sidles back into his shack and sits down and brings out a bowl of porridge. Looking close, you can see what look like there are sardines in the porridge. He swirls it round, brings it up to his mouth, and you can see he's missing a lot of teeth. He's got this terribly weather-worn old face, and he puts it in his mouth and starts chewing.
That's quite grim. Have our 2 friendly wagon drivers, are they just hanging about? They buggered off?
Yeah, they're 50 foot away, on the main road, just setting up camp, lathering the horses down because they're a bit winded from the run.
Okay.
Here's a question. I don't think my horse could have made the journey because it's not magically enhanced in any way.
Oh, that's true. I mean, they could have done the same spell to your horse if you let them. But they do warn it can. It's not good for the horses. They don't tend to last as long when they're doing this fairly regularly.
So basically, it gives them horse cancer.
Not so much. Wow. No. It causes a lot of exhaustion. It ages them a little more quickly, sort of thing.
Premature ejaculation, then?
Yeah, it gives them fucking
No. It actually increases their stamina. So, if anything, it improves the length they last. But that's beside the point. They mention.
I would have allowed them to cast it, I think, unless the horse was really, really insistent on not.
I mean, the horse is a horse. It just stands there and looks at you with dumb
Oh,
horse
this
face.
is a war horse.
Alright, it looks at you with a dumb, angry face.
Is it like a full-size ferry, or is it like a small boat? Because is that horse even going to be coming with us?
The horse, they could fit a horse on the ferry, yeah, if the horse has come along.
Alright. Okay.
I'm just wondering, John, did you let them cast the spell on the horse? And
Wait, what was the horse's reaction?
it stares at you with a dumb horse's face, just durr, and then drools because it's a horse.
I would like to insight check if
John
I would
got
like to insight
so
check
ripped off by that
Yeah, you
horse
can
dealer.
insight check your horse.
to see if it's is it insulting me?
Sure,
Yes.
go for it.
If you give Nate 10 minutes, he can tell you.
Maybe it's maybe I don't. If you've got the arcane invocation, oh no, you've probably got your tome. Yeah, you don't know it's a horse.
Uh,
Nah, I'll leave it.
All right, it
we'll
stays
wait for the-
behind and does horse things like shit and eat hay. Good time to mention I'm not a big fan of horses.
Getting that.
yeah, it's coming across.
I don't trust anything more well endowed than me. That's why I'm a very trusting man. But
Yeah,
I don't think at
sure.
this point.
Yeah, okay.
You
Sorry.
can kill all of us.
yeah, so you left the horse behind. That's fine because it doesn't look like the island you're going across to is very large. You probably won't need a horse to get around with it. And yeah, this guy's just sitting there, slowly eating his porridge and sardines. He doesn't
Go and sit opposite him on the. On
All right, yeah, you sit across from him and stare at him, and he stares past you with his slightly bulgy, actually he's little pinprick eyes, in a weathered face, just stares off at the horrors of the sea.
walk to walk. on the horse. Please tell me that's on the horse.
No, the horse is not there. I'm casting it on all of us, so if he takes longer than 10 minutes, we can just bugger off without him.
I mean, yeah, the island is less than an hour's walk away. You're pretty sure, maybe half that at most.
Yeah, look it.
You're
If it does take longer than 10 minutes, we can walk.
yeah, he's definitely going to take longer than 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we're walking.
You better hope it's an hour away, otherwise we're going to start getting wet.
All right, so you cast Water Walk, mark off the spell slot, and everyone just like.
It's a ritual.
Sorry.
I'm casting it as a ritual.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, you take 10 minutes to cast Water Walk, and then you cast them, and you all like step off the beach and start walking along. It's a little unnerving. Like you've normally used this in like caves or like those kind of like small bodies of water, but this is like a large body of water you're walking across. Yeah, but again, that's like a small body of water. Where you get to the stage where you're out really far. Like the both shores are like small. Like the guy's little hut is like minuscule off in the distance, and as well as that, like it's actually quite windy in the rain. So it's you're walking on like these it's like the floor is moving with the waves. So you're like rising,
a giant waterbed, wobbling everywhere.
It's really really awkward. In fact, I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh Christ! This is a bad idea.
This is a great idea. I love it.
They can't go underwater anyway. So.
I know. This is just to see how well you handle the walk across.
Well, again, as long as it really takes us less than an hour.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it looks like all of you. Who hasn't rolled yet? But it looks like you. Oh no, who has? Yeah, apart from who? Who? Oh, sorry, were you saying something there? Who?
No, I just was laughing because I.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the ranger who cunts it like 4 times face first into the ground, everyone does pretty well. Who? Could you also roll a con check for me? All right. You're not feeling great by the end. Like when you reach the far bank and step off onto the sandy beach beyond, like your stomach is churning. It is just heaving. You are filled with the want to like vomit, and thinking about sardine gruel is not helping.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you're just there like, ooh.
Well, to be fair, it was until someone chucked their guts up a sneakier way to get over here.
I offered pass without a trace.
Yeah, you can get up. So just to describe what you see beyond it, it's only about 9 a.m. at this stage, and apparently the meeting's not until noon. And he did stress, not to go until the meeting was underway, otherwise he just wouldn't show up, probably.
Yeah.
He made it sound like the guy would, was good at checking these sort of things. You can see you're on this island, this kind of wind-blasted strip of land. There's not a lot of trees on it, not a lot of cover from the wind sort of howling around you. And you can see along the island at one end is an old ruined-looking stone building, just sort of on the tip. It's got like got like a stone like flat bunker like building on the end, and also a tower, although the tower is somewhat crumbled and collapsed, and you guess this is the old lighthouse you were told about. You also see, like, kind of on the way there, as a small fishing village, just kind of hugging the coast. And you can see there's actually a couple of other huts and houses generally dotted around this island. What do you want to do?
So we can't go to the meeting location until it's time, otherwise this guy will bolt. How long have we got, roughly?
About 3 hours.
3 hours, was it?
It was about half an hour walk away.
Okay.
I'll do a nature check to see if there's anything actually worth collecting in the area or not.
Worth collecting?
Yeah, like if there's any rare plants or anything.
Oh, I mean...
I don't think there is. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, I mean, there might be like rare peats and stuff, but nothing you could find with like... We tend to in D&D be like, I just want to take a cursory look around for like rare plants. I think it would actually take quite a while of like a day of searching to track these sort of things down. Okay. So you think maybe if you had a little more time? It does look pretty desolate to you looking around. Like there's no like forest or like obvious plants.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll sort of see what you're doing with your nature first.
There's not going to be anything to search, so I guess I'll just do I'm going to concentrate and see if there's any monstrosities within 5 miles.
Ooh.
Okay, within 5 miles, geez, oh.
Yeah, so monstrosities, so that's none of the normal animals, but all the weird guys.
Okay, I'm just gonna...
I could
Matt
ping up the...
frantically opens his character sheets to check if something's a
Yeah.
monstrosity or not.
Is that a monstrosity? I don't... maybe?
Or is it an aberration? Now, that's a good question.
Alright,
Yeah,
so,
did
I mean...
think human...
I we keep talking this. Yeah, who you may speak.
No, that's nothing. Go ahead.
There's definitely monstrosities nearby, but it's kind of a thing where, like, this is the continent Vasselheim's on. There are always monstrosities nearby. Like, even if you do this in Vasselheim, there is. But there's none, like, very, very nearby. There's definitely things somewhere in the water, but nothing beyond the normal levels of, yep, there's definitely some bastardy around here. But nothing stands out. That is the thing. If it's a 5 mile radius and it's detect, like, monstrosities, if you do this anywhere on this continent, it's like, yes. Everywhere. It's like being in a butcher and asking if there's pork. You know, yeah, it's in here.
You say that, but, you know.
Oh, yeah, Istanbul.
Basically, me asking
I
if there's
live in Istanbul. There is no pork.
Basically, me doing primeval awareness to check for humanoids in a city.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't notice anything beyond the ambient kind of, there are monstrosities around you'd expect.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to sort of gather everyone together, and when we get to the island, and just say there's something really dicey about this contract.
Oh, really? I thought it was
Hadn't
completely
figured
above board.
Guys, I do have, because I cast divination yesterday, I can ask a question again if you really need one.
Is it? Just technically, it's been a day. I think we're probably okay. I don't think there's much else. Do we want to send the sneaky ranger to go and have a look at what else is on the island?
I'm just concerned that this cult that we're supposed to be wiping out may not be what we've told it is.
That
I
is
can
a question I
understand
could
why
ask.
Nate would think that.
So you may have noticed that I look somewhat like a cultist yourself, and well, most of you will know that I'm a what they call a warlock. Let's just say that my family was wiped out in a situation that seems depressingly similar to this. A group of adventurers were persuaded that they were evil and were told to wipe them out to a man.
Oh, hey. You mean like the
I
guy
can
that's
ask
tied up
that
in the basement?
exact question my deity, and she would probably say, yeah, they're evil.
I mean, I feel like just asking if someone, like, if a group's evil is very, I don't know.
Very woolly.
Yeah.
If they worship an evil deity.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they are evil.
Well,
I mean,
technically, my patron's evil.
It's a subjective thing. Anyone could be evil.
Yeah.
Evil is kind of not subjective in this reality, as far as I'm aware. But yeah.
My patron is evil by anyone's standards, but it spends most of its time trying to stop the Far Realms and the Prime Material Planes interacting.
And I will say, John, I get what you're getting at there. Normally in D&D, evil is not particularly subjective, but that's my least favourite part of D&D, so I don't tend to go that way. Just, if you're working on the assumption that, like, the world has always subjective evil and stuff, I don't work that way.
No.
Like, have you met Herc? He eats people, but I think he is a lovely man. So
Yeah, I do too. He's a lovely person.
but he eats people.
I mean, he waits till they're dead. Like, you know,
I can never
they're
decide
dead.
if he's chaotic good or chaotic evil. Like I can't make up my mind.
Well, to put it in perspective, with the example of Nate, okay, apart from very recent activities with an archer, Nate is neutral good, but his patron is definitely evil.
Yeah. I mean,
All right,
I
so
think-
sorry to bring it back to an in character conversation. Nate says
Yeah.
there might be more to this. This happened to him. This feels familiar. What does Nate say he wants?
I would quite like to. This is the trouble. We're not supposed to interact with the cult, otherwise this guy won't turn up. And don't get me wrong, if these guys are dicey and they are doing evil things, then fucking let's get them. But it might be a good idea to find out first.
Do you want to talk to them, or would you rather
Talking to one of
observe
them would
them?
be a good idea, but it will have to be. We'll have to snatch someone, and if they do turn out to be dicey, we'll have to keep them quiet until the bad guy turns up.
Well, if they're dicey, can't we just kill them?
Well, yeah, but we'll also have to make it look like they weren't snatched.
Oh, okay.
This is why it's difficult.
I think.
Or even just get close to be able to witness them.
Aye, that's what I mean. Do you want to try and get close to observe them first?
That's probably a good idea. I mean, if we see them tying people up and like slaughtering them wholesale, then they're probably dodgy.
I like the qualifying probably in there.
It's
Nate's a very open guy.
Well, we've just been paid to murder a bunch of people, you know?
Yeah,
I
that's
can make
true.
us all super stealthy.
That sounds good. Should we do that to begin? We need to get close anyway.
It
Sure.
lasts an hour, so it's about half hour's walk. We have about half hour and I can cast it again.
I mean, that should give us enough time to get there and spend like 20 minutes watching them, and we can then get out of sight, hopefully, before.
And then if push comes to shove, we might be able to grab hold of one and have a chat.
Mm.
I would like to find out whether we've just been paid to murder a bunch of innocent people.
I mean, we could stealth up, observe, make a decision.
Yeah,
I think that'd be best.
I think that's our best plan.
Who's got these weird spell scrolls as well that we took from?
Yeah, that's a good
Tom,
question.
whatever his name is.
You've got 2 of them, and you don't need to be a spellcaster to use them.
Yeah, so people who can get in close.
I'm fast and I can misty step.
I vote him.
I can misty step, but I don't want to be anywhere close.
That's true. I can misty step, do it, and then hit him. It's,
That sounds good. You can have one. We've got 2 of them, right?
yeah.
Yes.
two of them.
I'd suggest 2 different people have them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be like sitting there trying to rub paper all over this guy while I'm hitting him.
I guess since we have Arath, I think I should have the second one.
Yeah, we've got 3 slightly squishy ranged people,
Yeah.
and then 2 armored individuals.
I mean, I'm still relatively squishy.
We still have a 20 AC though. I mean, Lee's got like 17, Nate's got
I don't think you can claim
16.
squishy when you have
Enough.
20 AC.
21 AC,
Apparently.
apparently.
14, you're not squishy.
Yeah, you got 14. Sorry, was it 16 you said, Lee? 16, and I'm not sure what whose is. Like 16, 17? 18. Oh, okay, he's doing alright.
Yeah, he's
Is that with
surprisingly
shield?
hardy.
That's with a shield and the
Okay.
breastplate.
Yeah,
That's shield and your stick.
I think the cleric can have it.
Cool.
If only because he's the less likely to get pummeled, and he does like.
And he
He
auto
just,
heals.
he just use Sanctuary and just walk up to him.
Yeah.
You can't touch me, just rub some paper on his face.
Can't touch this. Do. Sorry.
About 15 minutes into our walk towards our location, I'm going to pass without trace all of us.
Awesome. So you cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone. You pass by this small sort of fishing village. You can see sort of smoke rising from some of the buildings. Maybe even spot a couple of people out sort of doing work, although most people are inside because of this rain. It's actually turning into a bit of a storm now. It's coming down pretty hard on you all. Everyone's kind of getting wet through and miserable. Although you're all outdoorsy types, so except for Nathaniel and John, so perhaps the rest of you are kind of used to it. And all right, you guys make your way. Could you all make stealth rolls for me? Obviously, you've got +10, so
Can I use guidance or no?
yeah, you
That's
can use
alright.
guidance because this isn't like you've got time. You know, during the walk?
Yeah, 20, 22, 24. Well, yeah, that's pretty solid.
I have 32 for stealth.
Yeah, fuck off, Mr. Ranger.
So
You're still that
everyone
one. You're still that
basically
one
has-
occasionally.
Everyone is, so you can't talk while doing this because part of what Pass Without Trace does is it surrounds you with a bit of an aura of silence. It dims noise and draws shadow around you. So it's a bit of a tense, quiet walk. And yeah, you reach this tower. I'll take you one sec. I'll take you to the map. I just need to move a couple of things because you're there a little early.
First things first, are they building a giant Wicker Man? Is it full of people?
Christopher Lee is there.
Isn't Nicolas Cage being forced into a Wicker Man?
Not the bears!
Then they'd be good. Then they'd be good people.
You just hear the screams of bees, not the bees.
The bears! Not the bears!
They're in my eyes.
Memes. Right. Copy. Just getting everyone across
Who
the
is so
map.
stealthy he is left the Discord? Oh, no, he's back again.
Yeah, we'll take a wee break in a minute as well because I need to hunt
I
something
don't
down.
think I've actually been on a mission with who.
Yeah, who disappeared into the woods for a time but has recently returned.
Yeah. It's been a day, so I'll recast good berries. Everybody has 2 good berries, just so it's
Cool.
sure.
All right, so
Who is also the Wonder Man that was basically facing off against lizards, lizard folk, and a pinata above his head, and survived mostly.
yeah. Oh yeah, when you were hung like a pinata surrounded by lizard folk and did pretty well. That was a good day.
There's no cover.
Oh shit! Yeah, the first lizard contract.
Yeah. You know what? There'd be a
So
few
good.
trees. I'll drag a few trees in because it's a bit barren. Right? As I did say, it's a very barren space.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be trees. It's a wind blasted isle. So yeah, you'd be further back than where you are. Can I just check? You can just see the outline of the tower. You can't actually see within or anything.
I could just see
It's
the
like a
entrance
narrow,
way.
a narrow gap, and I can see like a chimney there. That's about it. It's like a very thin line on that.
There we go. Yeah, there
Axis.
we go.
There's
So
no
yeah,
door.
it's a little funny, obviously, because of dynamic lighting. But yeah, there's this the island ends, and then there's a brief gap before a second little island. And yeah, you can see there's this squat grey stone building. It's circular. It's not actually a tower. It's more like a squat bunker. Like it was built on the island to house the people probably who stayed in the lighthouse. And then it does. You can't really see it well on the map, but your character will be able to see it. Beyond the squat sort of building is a tower rising up. It's a very skinny tower, only about 10, 20 foot across. And it seems to rise. That would have probably been the lighthouse, but it's the top's crumbled in, and you can sort of actually see like the exposed like stairs getting blasted by the wind across there. And yeah, you can see there's this this little bridge that goes across into the tower beyond. Now you're here early. You cannot see any movement at all.
How high is this side of the the island from the sea?
Oh, the one across with the actual tower on it.
Yeah, so this
15 to
So,
20
this
foot
bit here.
of stone coming out of the water.
look easily climbable.
It looks climbable. Easily is a different sort of matter. Like you'd have to remember. There's kind of a storm going on right now, and this is like buffeting like water. Like it would be definitely possible for someone to swim across, grab on, drag themselves up, but it would be something
Or
for
walk
an
across
athletic man to
and
try.
climb up. I could say, or walk across and then just climb up.
Yes, actually, with that you could do it. You could walk across and climb up.
Here's a question. How early are we at this point?
It's now like 9:30, and the meeting is until 12.
Should we use our resident scouting owl before we go any further?
I could send.
Or scouty bat?
Yeah, we could send the familiars forward to just have a quick look. Not obviously inside, but just around.
Here's the thing. If they go scouting, they will not have the benefit of stealth that we do. And if they might notice that something...
They're birds.
And a bat.
Mine is an owl,
That's
yours a
fine.
bat. How
That's
is this
the
any
quiet
sort
thing.
of weather for storm?
That's obviously seeking shelter. This is a blasted island with nowhere to hide. They're seeking shelter in a ruined tower. That seems perfectly fine.
Technically, they do have Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
I just had to reread it as I wasn't sure.
Well, we have like a scouting squadron, but I don't mind either way. It seems to be what we always do with them.
It's pretty much the point of familiars.
Yeah, that and defecating on people profusely.
Yeah, apparently so. What do people think?
I think we should try it. I mean, it does make sense that if they try to camber inside.
I mean, if they see an owl or a bat, are they going to automatically think, "Shit, there's a party of adventurers nearby"?
They gotta get suspicious.
Familiars are a thing cultists would be aware of existing, but it doesn't mean they assume every bat and owl is a familiar. It depends how strangely they are acting. There's a good chance if this guy's a cult leader, he might even have a familiar. You never know.
Okay.
It would depend on how capable they actually are. Don't move your familiars inside because I haven't got it all like set up for scouting.
No, I'm not going.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm just.
You've got like 100-foot range on them, haven't you? Where you can still see.
They can also go further beyond if they want and come back and report.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, they can do it themselves,
accurate.
but I can see through their eyes within 100 feet.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, you are further away than you are on the map.
Yeah.
You're not. I didn't think you actually came up to within 55 feet. Like
No.
you're like up a hill, looking down at it in the distance.
So we've got a couple of hours. We can either lurk here, try and sneak our way up to the tower to get a better position for later, or go and have a pokey look somewhere else on the island.
I mean, if the guy's telling
would be
John, you broke up a bit there. Hello? Oh, John, it's a broken robot man?
Am I?
Oh, you're a bit better
no,
now.
that's better.
Was somebody attempting to contribute to the conversation there?
Yeah, and I didn't hear what they said.
Nope.
I think it was John. What did you say, John?
It was John. He doesn't get owl, I think. That's what I
I
got.
think it would be prudent to go ahead and check it with both the blind sensing bat, which ignores illusions in a sense, and the owl, which has just good perception.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you just have to tell me we send them both inside, and they'll come back and they'll tell you what they see.
I didn't really want to send them inside. That's really dicey.
They can easily do a check around the outside.
Yeah.
It's a small squat building, as I described, with the same broken tower with it on the far side.
Oh, right, so it's completely... Yeah, gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't realize it was completely covered over. Okay.
Yeah, like, it's like this... Almost think like a squat, like, stone bunker. Like, they made this, like, hardy stone building to withstand the elements for as long as possible up here. And then they've got this hardy stone tower on the far end. It looks very, very old, actually. Like,
Ooh, this is my thing. Stone cunning. Sorry.
yeah, you can roll a history check for stone cunning.
It's the second time I've ever got to use it with my -1 to...
You can use it whenever you just gotta tell me. I'd like to know more about the construction. Yeah, look at that 19. Right. I mean, you think this building is actually like it's very, very weather worn. Like it's been worn down because it's on this horrible island which gets blasted by wind all year round. But you think it's old. You think it probably not long after the last calamity this would have been made. So we're talking ancient. Not as ancient as Vasselheim, obviously, but very old. And it has that kind of feeling of a place that's been isolated for a long time. It was built by humans. You're confident of that.
Okay.
Like it has all the hallmarks of shoddy human construction. Without any like strange ethereal extras or elven fanciness to it. Just a very practical old building. You also with stone cutting notice like the main part is quite squat and sturdy and has taken quite well. The tower broke some time ago, but the staircase is actually still functional. You reckon? Like if somebody could get to the tower and climb up the tower, they could maybe get in through the staircase. But that would be a hell of a job.
Okay. Also, technically that would be 22. I just realised because actually I get double my proficiency on stone. But that's cool. Yep. I relay any relevant information from stone cunning to everyone else.
Okay.
Proud of being able to use my knowledge of stonecraft.
I did something other than punch things and get punched.
It's a strange day. It's a strange day. Yeah, I mean...
Do you want to take a wee break here so people can take a minute to think things out and get drinks and stuff? Alright.
Yeah.
We'll take a wee 5-minute break here. Get some caffeine, stretch our feet, that kind of things. So yeah, try and be back by 8:25.
Okay, cool.